Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And for a few minutes, I just want to talk a little bit about Eric Berry. Now, for those that don't know who Eric Berry is a safety. He spent the entire 2019 season. He wasn't retired, but I guess you can call it semi-retired. But he took the time off to try to get his head right, try to get himself mentally and physically prepared to play football again. He says that he wants to play in the 2020 season, and a lot of people are asking what team would be suitable for Eric Berry. For those that never watched Eric Berry, he played for the Kansas City Chiefs for about 8 or 9 years. He came out of the University of Tennessee, and he was one of the best safeties in football when he was playing, man. And unfortunately, the past couple years of his career, have really been tough. He was diagnosed with cancer, and he had to leave the game in order for him to get treatment, and he got himself into remission, and man, God bless him. And then he went back to the Kansas City Chiefs, and in the first game of the season against the New England Patriots, he ended up tearing his Achilles, and he was out for the season, of course. But, a lot of people are wondering where he can go. And somebody asked me, should he play for the New Orleans Saints? And in my opinion, absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to see Eric Berry playing for the New Orleans Saints. And I'm going to tell you why. I know a lot of people, what they're going to say. They're going to say that Eric Berry is damaged goods. Eric Berry, he doesn't have it anymore. He's always hurt. Look, man, Eric Berry is better than some of the safeties that are playing in the game right now. Not only is he a really good safety, but he's a really good leader. This guy is really smart. I've been watching him since he was at the University of Tennessee. He wasn't always the fastest person on the field, but he was always among the smartest players on the field. He had great instincts. He had great ball skills. And also, sometimes you need that type of guy in a secondary. I think the one thing that the Saints suffer from is the lack of a leader inside of the secondary. Most of these guys that's playing at corner, at safety, these guys came into the league at the exact same time. So they basically grew up together. Honestly, think about this, man. Would you allow, your brother that's your equal, your twin brother, to tell you what to do? Or, it's hard for you to accept that, versus your big brother telling you what to do. You're not going to let your little brother tell you what to do. You're going to listen to that older brother. And I feel like that's what the Saints lack. And I know a lot of people will probably say, well, they got Vion Bell back there and they got Patrick Robinson back there. But to be honest with you, man, as much as I like Vion Bell and the way he stepped up this season, forcing fumbles and playing some of his best ball that he ever played. He had his first interception this season. I don't trust him, man. It's just something about guys who are on contract years, all of a sudden they just show up. It just makes me wonder to myself, like, where you been for the past 3 to 4 years? Like, this could have been something that we could have been seeing, it just make me question their greatness. Like, do you want to be great or you just want to get paid? I think you can do both. I think there's a lot of guys out there that want to get paid, of course, but they want to be great. And I question Vion Bell's ability to want to be great, because I feel like the only reason why he's stepping up is just because he wants some money. And eventually, if he gets that bread, then he's going to kind of fade to black, going to the background. And I don't like guys like that. I just don't have anything positive to say about guys that don't leave it all on the field. And I get those type of vibes from Vion Bell, but you never would have to worry about that with Eric Berry. I think Eric Berry has seen it all before, has done it all before, and I'm not really buying into this whole injury thing because, look at the San Francisco 49ers with Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman, he was left for dead, so to speak. They thought he was damaged goods, getting rid of him out of Seattle. And all he has done is rose to the occasion and also mentor some of the young players at the cornerback and safety position for the San Francisco 49ers. And, it's paying dividends because look at those guys, man. They're tough, they're physical, and they got the same type of mind frame as Richard Sherman because Richard Sherman holds those guys accountable. I think when you have somebody like Eric Berry that comes in and he's going to demand excellence out of a player because he is going to go out there and he's going to play excellent and want excellence out of himself. So when you have a guy like that, that's a recipe for a great leader. I mean, look at somebody like Demario Davis. I mean, as soon as Demario Davis came through the door, he had a C across his chest. That's what you have with Eric Berry. So the reason why I feel like he needs to be there is because that leadership, his ball skills, and I think the Saints on every level have that one guy that's a leader for the exception of the secondary. And I feel like if you put Eric Berry back there, then you'll have that. But I would love to hear from you. What do you think about the Saints possibly thinking of signing Eric Berry? Do you think it's a good move? Do you think it's a bad move? Comment down below, like and share this video. This has been a State of the Saints podcast. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search State of the Saints podcast. And also the State of the Saints podcast, we now have a spinoff podcast entitled The State of the Game. So if you want to hear about the Saints, that's fine. But I know a lot of people in the Who Dat Nation are sports fans of all different types of sports and want to hear about different teams as well. The State of the Game podcast is for you. It's the same type of format. For the exception of me just talking about Saints news, I'm talking about NFL news, NBA news, things that are going on in the world of sports. So please subscribe to the channel. The description will be down below so you all can check that out. And also, man, I want to give a special shout out to everybody that has been listening since day one. I really do appreciate it, man. Much love to each and every one of you. And continue to, root for the Saints, man. I know it's kind of rough right now. You know, a lot of people are frustrated about the team and the direction and the 13-3 season and losing in the wild card round. But there are better days ahead for the New Orleans Saints, and hopefully the executives of the New Orleans Saints can weather the storm. Till next time, all I have to say is, who dat?